that what I've been saying?
Call to order.
Yeah, call to order. It's a club meeting. It's the Saturday Afternoon Movie Club. We're back. It's me. I'm your host, Geoff Tate, and I'm here with the usual cohorts. What's up, Bjorn?
Hey, what's happening?
And Randy. How you doing?
Howdy. I'm good. How are you, Jeff?
All right. Well, we have another in-studio guest today.
Hey.
Brent Lowrey, the Seattle comedy champion.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah. You won that thing, right?
I did.
Yeah.
2023. So they brought me up last night on stage as the 2023 winner, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Every year it's just going to seem more stale.
Oh, yeah.
Like last year it was fine because they're like, he won it last year, but now that there's a date to it, I can just hear it in 2030 being like, he won it back in 2023.
You have to stop telling them the year.
I know. I told her, I was like, you don't even have to say the year.
Oh, no, I understand. I've had to pare down the info in my credits because the shows I was on don't exist anymore.
Yeah, what's a good credit
The
that you've had to
networks.
eliminate?
I did Live at Gotham, so now I just say Comedy Central. And I did The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson, so now I just say Late Late Show.
Is there something from like your Ohio days that you like? Did you win a contest that you used to use early?
I never won a contest.
Nothing.
I came in second a few times, and everyone I lost to doesn't do stand-up anymore. It's
Honestly,
So you won.
I won, yeah.
Most of the time you look at the Wikipedia, but most years you look at the Wikipedia for the San Francisco or Seattle contest. It's the 2nd through 5th that you're like, oh shit, they were in it.
Yeah.
A lot of the winners end up like being road dogs that you probably don't. You would know, but most people haven't heard of.
Yeah, right. The first I fucking got there was something there. The first contest I did, I won, but I didn't find out until they were announcing the winners, and the host said he actually goes, the guy that won got disqualified for going over his time, so your actual win, like the winner is, and then said the other guy, and I was like, oh, I was the only one that went over. I went over by 30 seconds. So everybody knew that that's fucked up for, like, I shouldn't know that, and he should know that the guy who did win. Don't tell him he won by default.
I feel like it was more fun for you to learn that than him.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. Yeah. I mean, the $1,000 or whatever, $500 he got was more fun than me finding out. But I still worked, like, because that was the other big thing was they would give away that contest had a little money, and the other contest just had work, but those were at clubs I already worked, so
you just kept working.
Just came and said, yeah, I just kept working.
Yeah,
I didn't get my one payoff weekend. I just had a bunch of my own that I earned. But yeah, it's like, it's so mean to be like, you didn't win to act. You only get this because that guy went a little bit over.
They did that last year on the Willamette Week.
Yeah.
The Funniest Five. They like didn't have to include that someone turned it down, and then they did. So the person who got 5th all year, Joe John, all year was like, I'm Portland's 6th funniest person, like kind of tongue in cheek.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's a fun way to handle it.
They didn't have to include that though.
No.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Because why would, like, that looks bad on them too. You're giving away this award and someone said no.
Right.
It's like, wait till next year. We have a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cut that out.
Do what they did this year. Just post everybody a list of everyone who got nominated for anything.
I gotta bite my tongue hard because I can go off on that on this subject more than I
So
want.
can I.
Yeah.
So can I.
Jeff, you were on there on the nominated list.
Wait, I was on the nominated list and didn't make the top 5?
They did this silly thing.
Yep. Whitey made it.
I'm 6th. I'm the 6th funniest person.
Sorry, I thought
Do
you
you guys
knew
know
that.
how many years in a row I've been the 51st sexiest man alive? It's so many years in a row.
That's great. Claim something that cannot be confirmed.
It's just so close. I just need one of them to get burned by acid or something. I don't want anybody to die so I can make it, but
You
something.
need somebody to get Harvey dented.
Yeah, fall
Yeah.
face first onto a cheese grater or some shit. Let me get number 50 finally.
Yeah, with the way people get canceled, you would think that a sexy guy could leave and move some room
Oh
for
yeah, I've
you.
never even tried to eat a person.
Well, maybe that's why you're not in the top 50.
That's why I'm not even in consideration. It's the 50 sexiest men alive who have secretly eaten people and kept it a secret. The 50th sexiest secret keeping people alive. I can't remember the other thing. I would love to know some of these road dogs you were talking about, but I remember the San Francisco competition. There was like Stanhope told me, and it was like his top 5 was, I think Dane Cook was in it, and Mitch and Robert Hawkins, and I don't know who won.
I mean, Louis C.K. got like 5th one year in it, and there's so many variables. Most of the theaters that you go to in the semis and the finals are performing arts centers with old white people who don't watch a ton of comedy, so they're just coming out to see the arts and support something different. A lot of them, and so. Like Neeraj did the contest last year, and he wasn't scoring well in some of these rooms, and he was beating himself up about it. And I was like, all this is a reflection of how those types of audiences view you, but that's not your, like, if you were drawing up an ideal crowd, it wouldn't look anything like this. Mm-hmm. And so that's always something to remember, is like the thing that it would require to win isn't necessarily the thing that will help you win in the industry overall, because it's a lot of pandering and like playing to the room versus just doing your thing. Because Louis C.K. probably just did the jokes he thought were funny, and a lot of the judges were probably like, "Oh, that's too much for me."
Well, back then, when Louis would still be in that contest, he was a different comedian than he is now. Mm-hmm. The pre-t-shirt and jeans Louis, he was very absurd and so fun. Like, go watch Louis C.K.'s Comedy Central Presents.
Okay. And
then the HBO half hour from like 2006, and they're not. It's wild. It's the same person, and that's just good. That's just good for anybody who does comedy. Like, there's a lot. There's some things about Louis that you probably shouldn't emulate, but the fact that he was successful. We all know. He was a successful working like head writer, Chris Rock show. Conan, like a very successful comedian already, and then switched to a different, like he found a different style, almost a different way of doing it, a different thing he was doing, and at like 20 years in, that's very impressive.
Right, like Carlin did a big pivot, but that was like 5 or 10 years in, where he kind of went from being like an everyman to like standing in his braids and his stances.
He went from being able to do the Ed Sullivan Show to not being able to do, right? Like, he turned into a counterculture early 70s thing.
Right, but it seems like pivoting 20 years in would be way harder, because like you said, he was already
I mean, that's a risk.
But he was well respected. He wasn't Louis C.K. though. And so he had to pivot to be the person that we all know.
Oh my God. One of his jokes on the half hour is one of my all-time favorite jokes, and it's so absurd. And it's if somebody starts yelling at you, yell at them about, like, the way to react is to confuse them. And it was some guy was yelling at him in traffic, and he was like, so I just yelled back, "Give me back my jacket." I said you could borrow it, not keep it. And so, like, it was such a funny joke.
Yeah.
And nothing at all like what he did, just like 2 or 3 years later was the HBO thing.
Right, and you can still see absurdism in what he does, but it's like blended more with confessional truth, vulnerability.
It's the style that he'd been working on forever, but now it was pointed at his real life instead of, it was pointed in instead of out.
Right.
It had been pointed out at everything. The all those bits, like, such good bits, but then he put that point of view on his inner monologue stuff, and now we got what we got now.
Right.
It's an interesting turn, and it's something to remember as comedians, that it's possible. It might happen. Don't fight it. You don't decide. I've never met somebody who decided what kind of comedian they were going to be and then were good at it. You become what you are. Like, you just keep going, and you find it all happens like naturally.
Yeah, as the result of just persistence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just write. You figure out what the kind of jokes I can tell are different than the kind of jokes you can tell, or the kind of jokes you tell. Like, and it's not a choice. It's just how it is.
Evolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is what I wanted. I never had the idea of what kind of comedian I wanted to be, and it just became this kind.
Did you ever go directions where you like that felt right for a second, and then you're like, oh, actually, that's not the way I want to go? Did you ever have to like U-turn?
No.
Just everything. You just followed what felt right and sort of.
Yeah, just do right. Yeah. That happened more with like my look. There was a period of time where I lost a bunch of weight and I was still married, and she got me all dressed up. And so then there was a few months where I would just bomb all the time.
Wearing like collared shirts and stuff?
Yeah, ties, cardigans, jackets, like slacks. Like I was dressed up. Like I was dressed like fucking Paddington. And that's not right. He wears the slicker. I was thinking of something else. And that part doesn't matter. But I would just bomb, same material. It just doesn't work coming out of that presentation.
Right.
It works better. It turns out there is no amount of underdressing that'll make this not work, but I can definitely be overdressed.
Do you think it's as much of the appearance outwardly as, like, could there be that you feel awkward and, like, maybe not authentic, and so then you're presenting things with a little less?
I mean, that might be true, but there is also, it's weird to watch what you've seen me do stand-up. Imagine I was wearing a tuxedo, and you'd be like, "This is nuts."
Don't you have an old like Tonight Show appearance where you're kind of dressed up?
No.
Or what? Did you do a late night show?
Yeah, but I was wearing a denim shirt.
Oh, cool.
And jeans.
Cool. So there's not record.
No, the Live at Gotham set. I have a shirt that my ex-wife bought me. Like it wasn't a shirt I would wear. I don't know that I ever wore it again.
Yeah.
But it was a little dressier, but not too much. But no, just you put a tie or a suit on this, and then the way I talk or whatever, it doesn't make sense. I can't do the sneaky shit I can get away with.
Right.
Because I can sneak stuff over when I look like this and talk like this. That you're not as on guard or whatever. You don't expect somebody like me to say anything of value. And so I can trick you into thinking it isn't.
Right. Like when you blew everybody's mind on Tuesday with the right-handed jeans, it kind of like fits because you're like, oh, this is a guy who would sit and smoke pot in his room until he came up with something that was like, oh, whoa, no one else knows this.
Yeah.
If you had a suit, people would be like, why are you?
Yeah, if I got a lab coat and a clipboard. Have you guys heard of right-handed jeans? This fucking scientist, of course. Yeah. He probably works in gene science.
Taking a census.
Yeah, it's less funny.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's it's part of the reveal. Right, the reveal is all we got as comics.
Right,
you set it up and then the reveal, and part of it is how cloudy can you make it before you do the reveal. And some of this helps clouding it.
For sure. That's a good way of putting that.
Yeah.
Anyways, I did win that contest. Yes.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
And I will say we talked a lot about people who win contests and whatever, but and what that counts for. But to put some more flowers on Brent, the people who have won like the Portland's Funniest and the people around here who win contests are actually good comedians. Like this, the list of people who won Portland's Funniest is an impressive list of people who still do stand up, still get better, and I would watch any of them.
Yeah,
they're all. That doesn't, you go back to when I was doing the contest. The people who are still comedians, we never won those. We were always getting beat by people who had more friends than us because we did more stand up than them.
I think they're great for you can use them to open more doors, but I think if you use them too much to like build your identity, it can be super dangerous. Like last year was tough, just trying to reestablish who I am without that, because it felt like something that I now had like above my head wherever I went. Whether that was true or not, it just took a second, like a full year, to just remember, oh, I'm a comedian in this, trying to get better every year. That thing is cool, but it doesn't define like who I am or what I am. I don't have to now just be a Pacific Northwest road comedian, but I can see how once you win it, that is kind of right there. And
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah, and I could see why people end up going down that road, and then they're 50, 60, and they're like, oh, I guess this is just what I do. Susan's story is great because
Susan Rice.
Yeah, Susan Rice, within that, still became so great that the industry was like, no, you got to come. Even at 72, you got to come show your stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, their window passes that they would be appealing to the industry, and so they just, make a good living. They can put their kids through college, but they kind of stay in this region, and they don't necessarily aspire to be like known on that level.
Yeah, it does. It gets sometimes if someone gets too easy, like that first, like it's one level up, so it does make that thing easier, but it's not enough levels up to make the whole thing easier. But easier, like some people just want to get by, and that's it, or they don't have, or they can't get further. But I think you have the right attitude about it.
That's why I'm going to New York because they won't give a shit about some contest that I won in the Pacific Northwest. Everybody there has a TV credit, and they've all won something to go live in New York. And so I want to see comedy at the highest level to stay humble and kind of like hungry. Yeah, that's the plan. But
Oh, good.
yeah,
Well, that's all
See,
right.
I'm just here losing contests, not getting passed at any clubs, just staying humble.
but you have a
and
podcast.
keep working hard.
I don't have a podcast.
Yeah,
This is
he's
a nice
he's our
studio.
guest.
Yeah, that's true.
So we're the ones handing out the trophy.
That's true.
You're making beats on your drum kit?
Oh yeah, I'm making beats now.
You've
really
got-
diversifying.
You're
my...
eclectic. I am a one-trick pony. My set went well last night, so I'm in a good mood. If it went bad last night, I would be like, "Oh, I suck at comedy. Don't talk about this." That's how unhealthily tied everything is to stand-up. So, I think it's probably good to have other things.
Yeah. When are you moving? Are you moving soon?
I'm not. I'm going there for 30 days. So
Oh.
it's like a little test run to
Oh, hell
see
yeah.
what it feels like and how much it costs and stuff. It's
Cool.
going to be pricey.
All right. Well, I can tell you, it'll feel crowded and it'll cost a lot.
Yeah.
So the movie we're doing today is called Disorderlies, and if you have watched it, you probably can tell why we're dragging this part out, taking our time getting to the movie part. So Disorderlies, had any of you heard of this before we did it on the pod?
No, but I do want to say that the whole time I was like, what the fuck, Brent? This movie is trash. I had no idea that it was your pick. I thought it was Brent's pick because the guy's last name is Lowry in it. I was like, okay, why did Brent pick? I was just the whole
wow,
time.
the narcissism runs fucking deep.
That's so
God
funny.
damn.
Both of you took that and we were like, this is definitely what happened. What an asshole. And I don't know when did you watch the movie?
Last night.
When did you watch it?
This morning.
Okay, so I guess the cement didn't dry on how long you thought I was a fucking asshole. I thought maybe you watched it like last week and all week. You're like, yeah, Brent made me watch this stupid ass movie.
And I'll say too,
You run into him on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And you can't make eye contact.
No.
You're like, Bad Boys had a Mike Lowry. You could have had us watch that. That first line, they're like, cut the shit, Lowry. And I was like, it piqued my interest. It would have been, I gave it like a 1.5 stars. If the guy's name was like something else, it would have been 1. So there is still a half star of narcissism in me.
Yeah.
I will say though, halfway through the movie, I was like, all right, I'm into this. I don't know why. I was just like on board. So I was like, all right, good pick, Brent.
It has a very clear plot. And I think sometimes bad movies don't have a clear plot. You're watching it the whole time like, what is going on? Like, is there a point? This is a stupid plot, but it's like, okay, this guy needs to pay off a debt.
Yeah.
He needs to kill his uncle, so he needs to hire the fat boys. It's like there's so many logic leaps. You're like, this seems stupid, but once that's set, it's clear, and that's what the whole movie is.
Mhm.
Right.
So
It's like those. It's like how those movies are like we need $50,000, but this is a darker version of that. Like there's no boat race or whatever to make the money. He's got to kill his uncle.
Yeah, I was
to
never
get the money.
I was never frustrated by the movie. Sometimes I would be like, why doesn't he just kill them? Like, why does he need the fat boys? He could do a lot of this without them. But
I don't understand. Like we'll get
Okay,
to that
all right.
stuff,
Yeah.
but yeah, definitely. I mean, who cares? Let's do it right now. I don't understand why. So he hires the fat boys because they're incompetent, and then but still part of his plan is to just also actively murder the uncle.
Mm-hmm.
You could do that no matter who's the orderly. You don't have to go hire
Right.
these three guys. Like I thought when he went and hired them, I was like, oh, he's hoping for incompetence. Like it's like a negligent homicide or whatever. We'll go get the three biggest idiots to do this, and then he'll just die on his own because they're bad at it. But no, he just hired patsies.
is it possible that was his initial thought, and then after the first dunk in the pool, when he realizes like, oh, we can't. They won't kill him in 3 weeks. I'm gonna have to do it myself.
I think the first dunk in the pool would make it more
Solidify.
clear that he'll probably not survive the day.
What a fun scene that one was.
Right.
Yeah, and then to undercut it later when you find out he can walk. You're like, well, what the fuck?
No,
Why
that's
did they
because he got off the pills.
No, but he could
Oh,
still. It was before that. There was a scene where he got up and moved. After when he came back from the roller rink, he got up out of the outside chair and moved himself into the inside chair before the solve or whatever the thing towards the end. So he could stand up and walk at least a couple steps, but they did this whole goofy thing, which that isn't even what that's for. That's a way to get
into the pool.
to get a handicapped person into the pool.
And
It's
out.
not a way to get a handicapped person out of a chair,
Yeah.
out of a lounge chair into a wheelchair.
It doesn't seem like it would ever be built to go that high.
No, it doesn't make any. It doesn't make it.
No, they used a fucking crane.
Yeah, it's so.
They could have just picked him up.
I thought
honestly.
they made some cool things. They made that pill dispenser.
Right?
You're like, that never really existed.
I honestly thought they were going to start making beats on that thing.
Okay.
It looked
Right?
like some device to like some synthesizer, and I was like, oh, I bet there's going to be a scene.
I figured that one of the music things that would play would be, and then the beatboxer would go, and
Yeah.
then they would do that would be the music break because there's going to be a music break.
Yeah,
Yeah. Can we talk about the one that did happen?
Yeah, it turns out it's just they just made a video.
just a music video without plugging it in.
But Rich Man is not a real song of theirs. That the one that they did, You're a Rich Man.
Yeah, baby, you're a rich man.
Yeah,
They
it's a Beatles riff.
Oh, that's
Comes
a
from the
real
Beatles.
song.
Baby, You're a Rich Man is a Beatles song.
Okay, so they were doing.
There's two illusions that I caught. Baby, You're a Rich Man is one, and then Uncle Albert, which is a Paul McCartney song. But,
Okay.
yeah, there's two Beatles references.
Were they
at
doing
least.
all of the lyrics in there?
No,
they were
no,
doing
no,
their
no,
own
not at all.
version of.
Right, the
when they say
verses were
"Baby,
different.
You're a Rich Man" for the choruses, that's the only thing taken from the song.
Gotcha.
It is a real Fat Boy song, but it was only on the soundtrack,
Okay.
and the soundtrack has been out of print since it was in print. It
I'm
was
gonna
in
try to
print
find that
once.
record.
It had one run in '87, and that's it.
The soundtrack.
The soundtrack,
Oh,
yeah,
it's very limited.
very limited, right? I spent a lot of yesterday listening to the Fat Boys, and it's not bad. It's fun. The actual album.
That was my morning. I listened to a bunch of the Fat Boys this morning.
I
I was
think
like, let's dip into this.
I would have liked Fat Boys if I was like not
an adult, right? I was
yeah,
10.
if I was an adult.
I was 10 years
10.
old.
I would have liked him if I was 10.
Yeah, it's like starter rap, like DJ Jazzy
Right.
Jeff and the Fresh Prince, where it was starter rap. You could get a way to get in.
Right, it's like around that. It's MC Hammer transitioning into more of like a more hard rap, like around
Yeah.
that time.
And one of their songs they totally like made fun of in Popstar. Did you ever see that movie? The Andy
Popstar?
Samberg
Oh,
movie?
Yeah. I've seen it a lot.
The Wet Boys, their first track is exactly It's exactly one of the Fat Boys' tracks. Like almost like not word for word, but like the music behind it is definitely that.
So in that movie, the Wet Boys is like a band,
Yeah,
and that's a direct homage to the Fat Boys.
kind of.
It has to be. It's
Yeah. It's
just the name itself.
yeah. And the song is basically one of their songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember anything, Randall, about the Fat Boys in that
No.
time? No.
Not at all.
Andy Reid was just asked before the Super Bowl. Just sometimes they float like fun questions to them. They're like, Who are your top 3 favorite rap artists?" And he was like, "Do the Fat Boys count?" And that was his
That's all 3.
his connection to.
His
hip-hop.
top three rap artists are all 3 Fat Boys.
So I assumed that they were. What's the most culturally significant thing that they did back then? Was it this movie?
Bring
I mean, they were
beatboxing to the forefront.
Okay.
yeah, they were
I
pretty
actually
big.
did read that.
Yeah, I was just a little before my time, so I assumed that they were big because they were big enough to then exploit as movie stars that they weren't built for.
And this is but that thing you just said, this explains why we're doing this movie. As we were watching the Super Bowl, I was at Brent's watching the Super Bowl, and we ended up talking about the podcast. He told me that thing about Andy Reid. I had just seen this movie, was on Amazon Prime, and this was one I wanted to do because I saw this movie. Like, I've watched this movie a few times when I was a kid, and this movie is great if you're 11,
Yeah.
and I was 11. So I remember before this week when I brought it up, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be great." I was 11, but that's why this movie got done. Not, and we did. If looks could kill, 13-year-old me maybe had a little better taste.
I mean, 11-year-old you was still into cartoon sound effects.
Yeah,
So-
Boing.
I mean, yeah, that movie. This is like a children's movie,
With
but not
boobs.
quite.
Well, that's what we were trying to figure out. Who is this for? Because it's kids style humor. It's very slapstick.
But there's boobs.
Right. And it's
And
cursing and
There's cursing. There's
Murder.
There's like fairly sexual references, like
Yeah.
intense sexual references.
so it feels like it's not a movie that people would be taking their kids to.
Right, but they also wouldn't enjoy it themselves.
Right.
Yeah, this movie is made for nobody.
It's
Yeah,
made for like
it was made for them.
diehard fans of the Fat Boys, I
Yeah.
guess. Because then you would be like, oh, I don't care that it's a bad movie. It's a context we never get to see our favorite rappers or musicians in. And so that's always fun. I'm trying to compare that to like, I don't know. We just went and watched Marshawn Lynch. Imani got pre-screening passes to go see Love Hurts, which
Oh,
is a
yeah.
terrible movie, but
no.
Marshawn Lynch is in it. And it is funny. Like those scenes are fun, even though he's not great at acting. Because you're just like, oh, this guy won a Super Bowl. And
Yeah,
so,
beast mode.
yeah, he actually goes. He's about to tackle a guy because it's a heavy action movie. And right before he tackles him, he goes beast mode, and then he,
Perfect.
yeah,
You have to.
you
right?
do.
The Rock did the suplex in one of those Fast and Furious movies. He suplexed whatever Statham in the. It doesn't matter. Sometimes you have to, but this movie is like I was trying to figure out, and I can't find an earlier version of a movie that just other than like Help or A Hard Day's Night, like a movie that starred a band. But like a hip hop group, like there was Crush Groove. It happened. Like there was other movies with hip hop people in it, but they kind of played themselves, and this was they weren't playing themselves. They used their names, like they might as well, Marky or whatever.
Right.
But they weren't hip hop stars in this movie. They were orderlies, like. Am I making sense?
Yeah. You're trying to. I'm thinking of other hip hop people that did movies. So like Tupac did acting.
Right.
The Redman and Method Man did some movies.
How High? Yeah.
They were playing.
See to Chucky.
Yeah, but they were playing. They were playing characters.
Yeah.
Right. Like How High is. This is like that, right? Like
similar. Yeah.
You take a known, even though those guys weren't actually a duo, but they'd made one album together.
Right. I'm surprised they never made a movie in the 90s where like NSYNC had to do something like.
But they did, but it was the Spice Girls.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
one.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
a
they
good
did.
call.
Right, these are all kind of like that, and this is one of the first. This is like an early hip hop version of it. Who's the Man is a few years later with Dr. Dre and Ed Lover.
Crossroads.
But that's just Britney
with
Spears.
Britney Spears.
They did have a
Right.
Cheetah Girls movie that was about the actual band, but that was
I was thinking about Josie and the Pussycats.
oh
but
yeah,
that
that's the one. They
that
were the
wasn't. That was a.
Would you consider A Star Is Born to fit this rubric?
No,
Oh,
No.
all right. Go fuck
no,
myself.
because those are
individuals.
those are like Britney Spears was trying to be an actor. Like this is just taking a group
Yeah,
and putting them in a movie to capitalize on the group. This would be like if Aerosmith started a movie.
I think the
But
monkey.
all of Aerosmith, not a guy from Aerosmith, not Steven Tyler.
The only thing I can compare it to is there was an episode of Boy Meets World where the Monkees made a guest appearance as a band, and they were like Corey Matthews' dad's old friends that got a band back together, but they were actually like skilled and yeah.
Right, that's real dicey because they were a TV show
What about Fresh
and
Prince?
then a band. What?
Does Fresh Prince count?
No, because it's
Can't
not.
fucking win today.
If it was Fresh Prince and Jazz were in Bad Boys, then that would be it. Like
Okay.
it's taking the group, not a person is an actor.
Okay. Yeah.
It's the group. Like the fact that they took the Fat Boys and like they're credited. The first credit is the Fat Boys and then their names. Like Crush Groove was Run DMC. That's all. Like that's the difference. Like actors. Method Man is in one of the Sam Jackson's Shaft movies. But Method Man and Redman are in How High, so that's the
Well, I mean, Fresh
the-
Prince had DJ Jazzy Jeff.
yeah, but not it wasn't. It was in like 15 episodes or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
The only
I know
thing
I know what you mean, but
I'm still wrong.
it's not quite the same. It's not quite the same because that wasn't a DJ Jazzy Jeff in the Fresh Prince TV show.
Okay, fair enough.
It was a Will Smith TV show.
The only things I can think of now are just cameos. They're not
Yeah.
stars of the movies.
Yeah, and it could be fun to do it again. Like it would be. I mean, who would be Coast Contra or whatever? Take Coast Contra and have them put them in a movie. Like that'd be dope. Those 5 guys.
I don't know Coast Contra. Are they hip hop or are they?
Yeah, and they're new, but they have like the '90s, like a '90s sound. Like it's funny. It's good samples, dancey. It's not that new. Like that. I don't like that. The new sound. I like it. They
Old school.
yeah. They say in their group they have like a Wu-Tang vibe.
Right.
All right, so let's put Disorderlies in context. It came out August 14th, 1987. It debuted at number 7 that week. Number 1 was Stakeout. Number 2, The Living Daylights. Number 3, Can't Buy Me Love. Number 4, No Way Out. Number 5, La Bamba. Number 6, Masters of the Universe. Number 7, Disorderlies. Number 8, RoboCop. Then The Lost Boys and The Summer School. So
I
that's
gotta see more than one of those movies.
really.
Just
You didn't get to
RoboCop.
the
This and
end?
RoboCop.
That's it.
Not the
Man.
Lost Boys.
Oh, and Lost Boys. Okay, sorry, 3.
Oh man. Well, you're in for a treat for some of these, and some of these are not good
Not
at
as
all.
much.
Roger Ebert did not review it. It has no critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, and the audience score is 53%, and the IMDb score is 5.0. So all of this tracks.
Yeah.
If not a little high.
Yeah, those seem favorable.
Right. I mean, better. I don't know if favorable. It's better than it. It's better than I thought it would be.
It's at least not such a bad scoring that, like, you kind of have to watch it. If you're interested and you see those scores, you're like, this seems like a decide for yourself kind of score.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even really want to do the recap. Let's just kind of go through the movie a little bit. So the opening scene is them at the retirement home, the nursing home in Brooklyn. And they're, of course, party guys racing wheelchairs around or whatever.
That's like the only New York scene, really.
Yeah. And then they,
Except when their parents get on the airport or airplane with them.
right?
Yeah.
walk
Could you
all the
do
way to the
that?
airplane.
Could you do that in the 80s?
No.
Get on the plane?
When you didn't
not
have the
on
budget
plane.
for the terminal, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what it is. Yeah.
that's hilarious.
Yeah. That's it. That's the answer. That has to be the answer.
They're
Yeah.
like, okay, we can rent the plane, the inside of a plane
Yeah.
scene that
Or-
you can get.
So
Or
we'll have
build
the-
15 feet of a set.
Yeah.
Like an Instagram model in 2025.
Exactly.
Imani was saying one of the actresses, like one of the ladies that plays a mom, is the mom in Family Matters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She's
Yeah.
one of the few actors in the whole movie that we were like, oh, we know her.
Mm.
Right. I mean, the main bad guy was played Luke Spencer on General Hospital for fucking ever.
Okay, he did seem like a.
Uncle Albert was in something too. I
Uncle
can't-
Albert was in Trading Places.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I think he was also in Coming to America.
Well, yeah, they both
Yeah.
were. Both Trading Places guys weren't coming to America.
Yeah.
Mortimer, we're
As,
back.
as their characters, right?
Right. He gives them a paper bag full of money in the alley.
It's like
Oh,
a
okay.
universe.
And
Right.
that guy, the actor, did die before any of the Fat Boys, which was. We were researching that.
Are
'cause
all three of them dead too?
Yeah.
no, two of them are.
Yeah.
No,
Mark.
the third one is too.
No, he's not. There's one guy who
I thought-
lost weight, and he's still around.
I
The-
thought he died a few years ago.
That was. I don't know if it was the third guy, but Prince Marky D died in
2021.
21. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The other guy died in 95.
Eesh.
He was 28. The biggest guy.
Damn.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. That sucks.
It does. And it's sort of like he's doing jokes like he's like, "Oh, I'm about to have a heart attack." And you're like, he had a heart attack at 28 years old.
Oh my god. Right. So Luke Spencer is the bad guy. Maybe I'm not. That might not even be his name, but it's the Lowry guy, Winslow Lowry.
Winslow Lowry.
Which interesting. The Family Matters, Winslow, and you're Lowry. You think they knew about that? They knew you were going to do this podcast, and she was going to do Family Matters.
Maybe. The guy also in the first like 5 minutes, his name's Lowry and he has a gambling addiction.
Yeah.
Both true for me.
Oh damn! All right.
I went to Gamblers Anonymous when I was 17.
Wow.
So I don't know if I'm actually an addict, but from like 03 to 08, I was big in the Texas Hold'em online
Oh, sure.
poker type. You know, it was all on ESPN and stuff.
Were you good?
Yeah, I think I was good. I think the way that people play now are people who have been playing since then
Sure.
intensely, so they're much better. Like the skill level of poker players has gone up. Now I just play it for fun, but we were sneaking into like Indian casinos back in San Diego because they were 18 plus, and we
Okay.
were like in high school. But I won a poker tournament at 17 on my buddy's 18th birthday, and then spent all the money. I lost it all on online poker, and then I went to my parents and I was like, I think I have a problem. And so I went to like 3 weeks of Gamblers Anonymous, and that was enough to. Because everybody there was way older, and they were like, if I had come at your age, I would still have a house and a family. And it was a lot.
God.
It was very heavy. So I was
Yeah.
like,
I'm good.
yeah, I'm good. I'll just go to college and have fun with my buddies.
Wow.
But yeah, that was like a parallel.
Right. He lost that money at it was like a fundraiser gambling event too, like a fundraising casino night.
Right, and they
Like,
didn't
that's
even
where he's losing money.
they didn't even show us how. They just showed him look uncomfortable, and then afterwards they're like, "You lost a lot of money."
Right. They show up at his office and they're like, "You borrowed $40,000 from us yesterday." They're
Nah.
like, "This is a little early for you to be coming back."
It's
For
like,
it."
and you owe us 600,000
Yeah.
now. Like,
Yeah.
wow, that's quite the
And
interest
that
rate.
guy,
right?
that guy is
Trying to
the
figure that out.
that guy is the guy from the supermarket scene in Cobra.
Oh.
The
guy
the
looking
main
for his
bad
money?
guy.
Yeah.
Not his Miguel is his like right hand man, and Luis is the main bad guy that he owes the money to. Luis is in Cobra. Miguel is in. I think he's in all kinds of movies like that, but he's America Ferrera's dad in Superstore, and I think Ugly Betty. Like that's where I know him from.
Is he a villain in Cobra?
No, the taller guy is. The
Is-
shorter guy is in other, like, might be in, like, Commando or
Is-
some shit like that.
Is the tall guy still a villain in the guy who is in Cobra?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he kind of has a villainous look. it
Yeah,
seems
yeah.
like.
So this is tough. And now he's, so to pay back the $600,000 that he owes this guy, his plan is to let his uncle die and then inherit the money so that he can then pay this guy the $600,000. This is not a good plan, especially considering it really boils down to towards the end. They just steal the money. Like, just steal the money then.
Which
Right.
especially too, because he's like, "You want to come see my uncle?" And he walks into the room. And he's just wearing an oxygen mask. When they were pitching that scene, I was expecting to see like the guy in the iron lung from The Big Lebowski.
Oh yeah.
You know, just decrepit in a hospital bed.
Oh yeah. And then the guy, he's like, "Oh, he's doing great." I'm like, you idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he
Stepping
fires
on
the
a thing.
competent ones, and then so his plan is hired incompetent orderlies. So they go from Palm Beach to Brooklyn, and on the way, this doesn't track timeline wise, but on the way to the nursing home, he's reading a USA Today that has the headline "Worst Nursing Home in America," and it's the one they're going to. It's like, this is just good luck that today's paper,
Right. He already had the plan, and
Right.
somehow
and knew where he was
Yeah.
going, and then today's paper just backs up his plan.
pre-internet.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's very
right.
suspicious.
Ooh.
Yeah. How does he know where any like none of? Am I wrong?
Talk about a slow news day. Also,
Right?
Worst.
It's
In
1987. You
fucking
don't-
Brooklyn,
on USA Today.
like USA Today in Brooklyn in the 80s.
Yeah.
It's 1986. It was just all Iran Contra shit, wall to wall. Except for this one day, they were like, the nursing home is real bad.
We got to put this shit on the cover.
Not bad enough that everything seemed business as usual at the nursing home that next day.
Yeah.
You would think they'd be like, "Oh my god, did you see the press we're getting?" You know?
Oh yeah, there wasn't even. I can't. Like, the guy should be running around. Go, who talked?
Yeah. or at least, yeah, people's families should be showing up like, "Hey, I'm checking my mom out of here," but everything was just normal.
There should be the subheading. The subheadline should say something like 16 cakes disappeared yesterday. Somehow they ate 16 cakes.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I looked up when I saw the Fat Boys, because I'd never seen them before, was who's alive, because they looked very unhealthy.
Yeah.
Then the next scene being them just eating cakes.
Fistfuls of cake.
You're like,
literal
okay.
Fistfuls of chocolate cake.
I see what we're signing up for here,
Yeah.
but I don't know if this doesn't necessarily age well. That they're just,
No, it's pretty bad.
yeah.
They really lean into being the fat boys.
Did you guys see the name of the plane that they flew on?
Transworld.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's TWA.
so progressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were ahead of their time.
Yeah, they didn't make it. Too woke.
Transworld was a real airline.
It
that
was.
no
I flew on
longer-
them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, TWA.
Yeah,
TWA.
TWA.
You never heard of TWA?
Mm-mm.
It's Howard Hughes' airline.
I have this cool blue jacket that I got at a Goodwill that's like, I think it's called, it's some airline that I've never heard of, but it's not TWA. I wish I knew the name.
Eastern?
I thought,
Continental.
no, I see. It's stupid that I even brought it up because I don't even have the
Pan
name.
Am.
It's like, it's not American.
Northwest.
It's
Oh,
something.
Pan Am might be.
Horizon.
maybe, no,
I was a travel agent. I'll keep going.
No, it's fine.
I don't know.
We
it's
could.
stupid.
So fortunately, this guy does find some bad orderlies, and hires them straight away. Nobody. They should have. That should have been a tip. That's suspicious right away.
It's crazy that he just walked. He didn't have to do any recruiting. He walked in and was just there while they got fired.
Yeah.
Right.
His timing's incredible.
Yep. Found the perfect spot. Found the perfect orderlies.
Yeah.
On the right day.
And he's not even firing them for the. He's firing them for the cakes, not the fact that they might have been the reason they just made USA Today as the worst. He should be way more concerned with that.
Oh,
I
that's
didn't
the thing.
think
Like, we
about
also have no evidence that they're actually bad at it yet. Like, we've seen them run. Like, they seem unorthodox at most.
Actually, that's a great point. It sort of, the first scene makes it feel like it's going to be a whole movie about fun guys at a senior center making everybody's
Yeah.
lives more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of into that.
Yeah, that'd be a better movie.
Yeah.
But then they get fired for eating cakes, and then immediately hired because that guy thinks eating cakes makes them terrible orderlies.
Yeah, they go from being just going, they've never left Brooklyn. They go to their job, they're fired, and then immediately they're like, yeah, let's go to Florida.
Right, and their luggage is hilarious. When we finally see the
Bag
luggage,
of
there's
balls.
a bag of sports balls, soccer, football, basketball. Just what? It's like you moved
A boombox.
right. It's like they moved a second grade class.
When in reality, it would have just been boxes of shoes because they changed shoes in like every single scene. I noticed.
Cool fashion. They had like a lot of cool outfits.
I was obsessed with the outfits.
Yeah.
I took pictures.
Nice.
I love a good non-team football jersey, like not affiliated with any team, just sports in general.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was the Rams. It was a Rams jersey, but there's no way they couldn't afford a terminal shot, so they definitely couldn't afford a logo.
They could barely
yeah.
afford cameras.
Yeah,
That explosion at the end must have been
The majority of the budget.
Yeah.
For sure.
that explosion at the end must have been from another movie.
yeah.
yeah.
They were able to.
I was
rent that
wondering if
shot.
the opening for Florida was from another movie because it was just like a helicopter shot that was horribly not smooth.
Yeah, I thought it was from like the news. Like, because it's all jumpy and janky.
Yeah.
and it's,
Yeah.
like a Miami Vice B-roll.
Miami Vice would have done a better job. Miami Vice episodes had
better
budget.
copter budget.
What do they yell at those women when they're
They
in the
get
car?
arrested.
Hey, you hot, stupid, dumb women! Or
It's just some catcall and they get arrested. He gets arrested for catcalling out the window. And then
Of a
then
car?
they get pulled out. Like the rich guy does some rich guy stuff, gets him out.
they had a whole police precinct scene that they did not need at all.
Nope.
No.
They like hired a police guy who lets them off the hook for some money, and then you never see those guys again.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're not even the ones that show up later.
Right? It's not. I thought, yeah.
I thought they would
Oh
be the
yeah.
ones that... Right, when cops showed up later
There's
in the
the
movie,
budget.
I went back to see if it was the same cop. It isn't. It's...
They're just giving out SAG cards with this film.
But no terminal. What the fuck?
Exactly. Why not have the terminal? I mean, there's a lot of scenes in there where they're short, and then you go when it ended, you're like, that was not a necessary scene at all.
Yeah, this movie is 87 minutes long, and it could have been
20.
less.
I like the idea that they knew they were picking up 3 orderlies, yet one of them was gonna have to ride in the trunk.
They knew
This is supposed to be a rich guy,
They
right?
knew which 3 orderlies they were picking up too. They hired them. They had seen them in person, and they show up with a car that seats 4.
A LeBaron.
One of them rides in the trunk. It's the most ridiculous. It's so. I mean,
With the trunk open.
Do you think
Yeah,
that
he's just
they
dangling his fucking
Yeah,
feet.
like out the back
yeah, on the highway.
in Florida.
How do you think like these guys felt about just the amount of like fat slapstick?
I think they were into it.
Yeah.
Because I listened to their albums.
Okay.
So if they weren't into it, then they weren't into anything they did. Like they wouldn't have been in. Like I mean, somebody's got a gun to their head to make those records too.
I mean, their group was called the Fat Boys.
Right.
You know?
Their group had a different name, and then they won a contest. There was some promoter put on a contest in New York. I got Coca-Cola to sponsor it, and then they ended up winning. And then he told them to change their name to the Fat Boys. And then that's when they took off.
But their music isn't like goofy or glorifying like fatness in a way that's.
I thought it was.
Yeah,
Is
it
it?
does.
Oh,
some
okay.
of it, yeah.
It's like about eating food and stuff.
Oh, okay. That's
A
what
lot
some
of it
the-
is. Some of it isn't. They have a. I mean, they have a song about. They got a song about condoms, like on their '87 album, just about because
So they
it's almost like
were-
a public service announcement.
They were silly. Like they
Yeah.
were. Okay.
They were silly.
They weren't trying to be taken seriously as like
Artists.
street. Well, probably as artists, but not as.
It's also early rap. It was
Right.
kind of, I mean,
And so there's no like
kind of goofy and silly.
standard of hardness that you kind of have to present. It's just like
Nah, it was like real party.
Yeah.
Still party rap.
Okay.
I can't think of the guy with the face or the nose thing, the glasses in the nose.
Groucho Marx.
Yeah, no, is it? What was the rapper that would wear those? The Tupac opened for. Why can't I think of his name?
G-Shock,
Never mind.
the Humpty Dance guy.
Yeah, the Humpty Dance guy.
G-Shock. Isn't his name G-Shock? Isn't
Yeah.
that the front
That-
man for Digital Underground?
I don't know much '80s hip hop.
Humpty, the Humpty Hump.
Do the Humpty Hump,
Yeah,
I know that
that
song.
one.
but I don't know much about it.
And
Yeah, it seemed like maybe someone threw, without knowing their personalities. I'm like, oh, somebody gave them a script and a lot of money to kind of like play themselves up as bozos, but they're not really like actors. They're more just like personalities, and their strength is music, which is why they had that scene where they're actually doing their music. But you're saying that this sort of fits their brand.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they might have helped write this movie.
Yeah, it wasn't. They might have. They didn't, but they could have.
Yeah.
It seemed like they were having fun and they were committed to it. That's what I appreciated
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
It seemed like they were having a good time the whole time.
That's true.
Yeah,
Nobody went halfway. They were into it.
Yeah, I mean they definitely had a ball, and it fits everything. It fits their brand. Everything they did. It's kind of why like it's hard to think of anybody else doing this movie, because I just don't think like this movie doesn't exist. They just wouldn't make this. They weren't going to make this movie unless they were going to make it with the Fat Boys.
Right.
You know?
Well, I thought it was because I watched the trailer and they compare the movie to the Three Stooges. So it's kind of like they're a black. They literally
it's
are
a
like, you like the
comp.
Three Stooges? You're gonna like this movie. That's like pretty. They actually have Three Stooges footage in the trailer that I saw, which
Right. It feels like really the premise is less important. It's just a vehicle to do all the slapsticky stuff, and they're
Yeah.
like, okay, his
Yeah,
uncle
just gag
owes
after
money.
gag. There's so
Yeah.
little of like the plot
yeah.
to get through because we set it up. This guy's going to murder him and set the orderlies up. It's an overly complicated plan that's still not particularly complicated. It's just overly complicated for what he's actually trying to do.
Right.
And then but then there's the fun stuff. They sneak him out to the roller rink.
And that's the scene I want to talk about. It's crazy that one night together with the old man and them is like such a hard bond that these guys now like have each other's back the whole movie. It starts with him like he sees them and goes, "Oh, this is a nightmare."
Yeah.
Then they go one night out. He gets one boner with these chicks that get in the car, and now he's like, "Those are my guys. They would never." He's like, "You've known them for a week.
Right?
They would never steal from me."
Step off, homeboy. Like he started saying slang. Why?
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
guys need to stop
Stop
illing.
illing. Yeah.
I love when they're going to the roller rink and they're picking up the girls and they're like, "Ooh, who is this guy?" And they're like, "Oh, he does a lot of drugs."
No, I actually wrote it down because it's my favorite quote in the movie. It's, "This is Al. He's into drugs."
He's into drugs. And they're like, "Okay."
I was thinking about it. Though, is that a real situation in the late '80s that women would maybe like? Is that like being on one of the fuck apps? But back then, you just go stand on the street with your friends. Like maybe some guys will pick us up in a nice car.
I think the most realistic thing about this movie is that an old man could be sick.
Yeah.
And everything else is nonsense. I don't know that would happen.
Did you ever? No, you were too young.
Yeah, no. Those are called hookers,
I was gonna say I thought they were prostitutes.
but they weren't.
But they weren't.
Right,
They were
and
just party girls who jumped in the car.
I feel like there were party girls back in the '80s that were like, we want to do coke, and we want to go clubbing, but we don't have a car or money or coke, so let's get pretty and stand on the street and kind of just like hope the right boys come up, and then I'll ride in the front, you ride in the back, we'll just have a fun night. And you're like, well, I guess pre-cell phones, maybe that would be a way you'd make new friends.
I mean, it might. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll go. That's second most realistic. Then they go to the roller rink, and I thought the roller rink scene was fun.
I liked it.
It appears that only one of the Fat Boys can roller skate.
The other one skateboards.
The other one
terribly.
skateboards for a little bit, for just a second.
I rewound that skateboarding thing. When he comes off it, he's going pretty fast. It's crazy that he didn't fall, but there's some guy that's kind of like spotting him.
Yeah. They don't do any. It seemed very real. Like he is that bad at it.
Right, but he would go down hard.
Yeah.
Like, did they really fall off those horses? I was like watching that. I was like, oh boy.
I felt for those horses.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
know that
could've
they rode
figured that
those
out.
horses.
They didn't. I think
They had like stunt doubles padded up.
I think they like you can't be that big and ride a horse.
I don't think so.
I know, like you cannot be that big and ride a horse. Those dudes are bigger than me, and I cannot ride a horse.
Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't make
Sorry to shut it.
There's where that's where the movie falls apart. No, I was just wondering, like, those
It was
are
the
real
80s.
falls.
Horse regulation weight was different in the 80s.
It was different in the 80s, dude. They only rode them for like 10 seconds.
Horses had broader backs.
There probably wasn't horse regulation.
There
Right,
probably wasn't. It
they-
seemed like the white guy, the lighter guy, they only showed him on the horse from the back, so it did feel like it was a stunt double when he fell.
Yeah.
There was that one guy who was too big, and then the horse like laid down because it didn't want to be ridden.
Yeah.
That felt like maybe it wasn't
Fast.
even scripted. The horse was like, no.
No.
They're like, let's use that. That's a
Use
good.
that footage.
I like the choice you just made.
Right, that horse went to Groundlings.
Yeah.
The real improv horse. And they just went with it. They're all into it, the yes ands. You
Right.
know?
They're like, that's actually funnier, horse. Good job.
There's the cute housekeeper.
Oh
He
yeah.
orders 8 pizzas.
So I wanted to touch on that for a sec in case I missed something. When she's there and he hits on her with pizzas, she's not seen any time prior to that, right? That's the first time.
No, they
No,
see
they
her when
saw
they
her-
walk in.
But like there's
when
no
they-
interaction with her.
No. When they show up and the whole staff is outside, he sees her and then he tries to peel off, but they keep him in the group. But he had seen her. We had seen her, but just then, that was their first interaction.
Okay.
The only other time, is when he goes, "Don't touch anything," and that's like a reference to
Yeah.
"Don't touch her." And so
Anything means anything.
they needed more of like when they first introduced her, what they needed to do was like a slow walk, where you're like, "Oh, that's Carla. She's beautiful," but she was just a lady walking by, and you had to be like, "Oh, she is beautiful," and they,
Yeah.
she didn't
That's-
even talk very much. She was just there to look pretty, I guess.
Right, and then he hits on her, and she just goes, "You're too fat." She's basically just like, "You're too fat. If you
Lose
weren't
some of that
if you weren't
blubber."
so fat, maybe we'd fuck."
Yeah.
And
But
then
then
she
she-
pulls sprouts out of the cupboard,
Yes. out
not
of
the
cupboard.
fridge, not the counter. Like reaches into the pantry and pulls a loose bowl of sprouts. And then he eats them, and they go, "What do you eat?" He goes, "They hope he gets sex."
Yeah.
That's hilarious. She even says it in a way where she makes a face like she's flirting. She's like, "You are too fat."
Oh yeah, it's a real like I'm into this, but you have to lose 150 pounds.
And then I think like that same night they're about to fuck.
Yeah, later on.
Yeah.
There's a montage of exercising.
Mm-hmm.
He starts exercising, and then that's a little later.
After
You
the
find the
music video.
secret.
She didn't even need him to lose weight. She just needed to see that he was trying.
Right.
Yeah,
Right, right.
that's it.
Just
Right.
a little effort.
Show
Put
you
down the
care.
slice, pick up the sprouts.
I need to know that I need to know whether or not I can change you.
Right.
So I
wonder-
go along with this first thing.
I wonder if they wrote that in because that guy was the one who was always like chasing pussy. Because he splits off, and then those two have to be the heroes. He's more of like he's stuck. And I wonder if that's like what his actual role in the group was.
Yeah.
They
Well,
go to
maybe.
watch the other girls
It's probably
in the
the
pool.
ladies' man. Right, those
Could've
two guys are the dorks of the
Yeah.
group, I guess. But yeah, so the scene in the kitchen with the housekeeper, that's also when they were playing cards and using the pills as chips.
Yeah.
And then he bagged it up because they got caught. And then he goes to answer, but he still has the bag. He just forgets about the pills altogether. And then this is a huge plot point in the movie is him losing the pills, but it doesn't. It all feels very slapdash until you get to the point where they're like, "Oh, he was over medicated." So the fact that they lost the pills and didn't give him his medicine helped him.
That feels like something they're like, how do we make this make sense? And then they had to write that after they took the pills away. It seems like too much to have.
I would believe either direction. I would believe they thought of the over medicated and then had to come up with a reason to lose the pills, or they had the pills get lost, and then it just. This movie does not seem like it had a lot of rewrites. It feels like a lot of
I
First
feel like it was
draft.
all on a whiteboard. A lot of like erasing and then drawing things.
And that's also the script, which is a
Erasing.
picture of that white.
I don't think they erased anything. I think they were
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I think they just-
lose the pills,
Next
and then they
scene.
just have to come up with a reason for that to not be
Right.
for that to work. and so it just keeps getting increasingly more ridiculous. But either direction will work. Either way, they lose the pills, and that helps. There's a little bit of a scare because he slept in, and they're really bad at checking pulses. I guess all of them are real bad at it.
Yeah.
The orderlies, who we have to assume had some training.
Yeah.
They're
They didn't just
convinced
get the
he's
job
dead.
in Brooklyn off the street. You learn something.
Right, but they're convinced that he's dead, right?
Yeah. And so is Winslow Lowry. He calls the fucking coroner.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and then
The
the guy
funeral
just stands up. He's like, "Hey, what's happening?" They freak out. He's having a spasm, so they try to fucking stop. I don't know what's going on. Then there's the fun reveal of the doctor being like, he's doing much better considering the blows he received, and then the camera and the people move just enough to realize it's one of the Fat Boys who.
Oh yeah.
He pushed him when he does wake up. He's about to get mouth to mouth. So this old man who hasn't stood up yet in the movie. Pushes all three Fat Boys to the ground.
Yeah.
And then starts fighting the guy that tried to give him mouth to mouth.
Yeah.
And then he's the one the doctor's looking at, not the old man. The old man's fine.
Right.
Then they said they were going he could go golfing.
That's
and
weird.
then the next scene is the polo scene. So I was very confused at the outfit. And
Yeah.
the knee pads and the helmets. I was like, what the fuck kind of golf is this?
I thought it was really
Battle
weird
golf.
that the guy
Battle golf. Right? It's like a Knight's Tale golf.
Yeah.
that would be a fun game.
Yeah. Golf beyond Thunderdome.
The doctor had a golf ball in his. He had a golf ball with him. Like he delivered the line. He's like, "Yeah, now he'll be ready to get back on the golf course." And then for whatever reason they wrote in, "And I'll throw a golf ball in the air." For the people who don't know what golf is.
And then they go play polo instead.
Yeah, and I did not know that was just because the horse scene, the horse gag.
Right. Well, they could have just written it to say, "Oh, now he'll get back on the polo green."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Why wouldn't they say that?
It doesn't make sense.
Because whiteboard.
Right. Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Like, once it's on there, we can't
You
erase
can't
it.
erase it.
Right? We already rented the horses. Oh, you said golf. You were supposed to say polo. You said golf. They don't have enough film.
Yeah, not a film.
There's like, we
No one
gotta
will
use it.
notice.
That was the martini for the entire shoot, was that
Yeah.
scene, and they ran out of film for it.
There's no. Speaking of, there's no Chekhov's anything in this movie.
Nope.
Just because nothing matters. Nothing. Fucking,
I mean, kind of the pills.
I mean, not-
sort of.
There's
but
not really.
They don't really pay off in the way I was thinking they were gonna.
It's not really Chekhov's pills though, because it's like they use them and then they're lost, and then the thing happens and now they don't need pills.
Or like they see the inside of that like safe with all of the gold and a golden telephone for some reason.
Yeah, but still, that's all like second and
Yeah,
third
it's
act.
true.
Like,
It's not like a thing that pays off.
right.
Nope.
It is just linear. There's nothing.
it's another
The
example.
camera, maybe that gets left on. No,
No, because that was
because that
obvious.
tape gets destroyed immediately, so
Yeah,
it doesn't
yeah,
even
yeah.
mean anything.
Right, they find the secret surveillance room, make their music video, which is pretty dope. Like they are good at it. Like that's the moment when you're like, oh, this is why they got the movie. When they're in their element, they are very fucking good. They're very charismatic and watchable, and cool. Like the way that guy would roll the R's and the like. They had a
Stick 'em.
specific
Stick 'em.
style, like a unique
Yeah.
that still hasn't really been touched. Nobody can do it. I mean, they just too many raps about being fat and fucking cheeseburgers and stuff. But
Yeah,
they were.
I wonder
they were
has anyone even
talented.
tried to fill that lane?
No.
The beatboxing.
The beatboxing
bit.
and the like, all of it. I mean, it's basically three. Bismarck, he figured out he could do it all himself.
Mm,
He didn't need two other guys, but
more money.
it's still just they're very talented, and the music scene was cool.
Yeah.
But as soon as I saw that, it was like, well, something's gonna happen. I thought they would see something in another room, but it turns out, no, the guy just came into that room, laid out his whole plan in front of the camera.
I thought Lowry was gonna see their video and be like, "Wow, these guys are really talented," and have it go in a different
Yeah,
direction.
just shift again. Just now he produces their record. It's like, Luis, it's going to take longer than a day, but check this out. I think we have a way.
These orderlies I hired to kill my
Listen
uncle.
to this. It's a Back to the Future scene. But it's,
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And then he Lou Pearlman's his way. It's actually the Lou Pearlman origin
hey,
story.
big pun. You know that sound you've been looking for?
That would be funny because then people could go, "Is that their real origin story?"
And then there's the finale or whatever. The climax is just the two guys get arrested. Cops show up. He ends up just hiring fucking killer, like just straight up hitmen to come in and shoot the uncle. And then they stash a gun in one of their bags. The police are outside because of the peeping toms, not because of not because of the hitters, because the two not marquee fat boys were watching those skinny dippers. So the cops are there for peeping toms. Hitmen are there to kill the uncle. This whole kill the uncle thing is getting way out of control. It just keeps escalating for no reason. There's a gunshot. The cops come in. They assume it's the two black guys, so they arrest those guys. They escape in the craziest
the most unhinged fucking way that apparently can only be done by someone from Brooklyn.
Also, why not just...
Where did they get those hangers?
The dry cleaning was hanging in the back seat.
In the cop car.
It was the cop's dry cleaning. It was his uniform. It was extra uniforms for people who were not him.
Yes.
Because they fit these two dudes.
And apparently like a 5X.
Wow, it was also a 5XL. That's perfect.
These cops liked it breezy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, 5630? That's my jam.
What are the odds?
Why couldn't they just pick the cuffs? Like pick the cuff lock? But instead they straighten out 3 or 4 hangers so they can work the gas and the brake.
And the steering wheel.
And the steering wheel and the shifter.
If you can do all that, why don't you turn around instead of doing a whole reverse car change?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, why don't you use one coat hanger and unlock the doors?
Yeah.
Which they do later.
At the end.
I thought it would have
They
been...
get out of the car.
It would have been funny if he couldn't get that. Like, he's like, all right, now.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense because they unlock the front door.
That's
and
true.
they're in the back still.
Is
I
true.
was like, what are you doing?
How did
you
they get out?
How do you get out?
Yeah.
I mean, there has to be a button up there that unlocks it.
And in like old school cars, if you unlock the front driver's seat, do the rest of them unlock?
Not in cop cars.
Not in a cop car.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, no. Like in old cars like that, they were all kind of individual. It was a
Yeah, you had to
it was a real come up when you could lock them all at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like my mom had an old car where there was like a little wheel and you could spin it. That was like the universal unlock or lock from the driver's side. It was just like a small. It was in a Porsche. So I was like, when I started this story, I was like, don't say it's a Porsche.
Don't say it's a Porsche. There you are.
I love when they get back though. They're dressed as cops. They come back, they see what's going on, and then they go to the armory to steal the guns. And they take a bunch of guns.
And then 6 bandoliers.
Right? And those aren't the right bullets.
No.
Also, it's the only time I've ever seen people grab guns and be like, wait, we need bullets. It's like, every other movie they just have that covered and no one questions it.
It's also the only time you've ever seen people do that in a movie. The guy accidentally shoots the gun and then they go, never mind. We should not have fucking guns. And they just drop them. They take them off and leave them.
Because why? Because they shot a clock? It's like...
No, because they're not good at it.
Right, but
it's the right call.
It is the right call. But I like that the consequences were so low that they're like, hey, if that's what we did to a clock, who knows what we can do to people.
He like mistakenly shoots the clock, but he unloads the entire fucking clip into that clock.
It's excessive.
Yeah. And then they hide glue. There's glue. This is the funniest
best
thing.
Glue.
And he just has stuff like that. One guy's got a doormat stuck to his foot or his shoe. The other guy's got like a mop and a thing, like 2 things glued to his hands. Then he gets doorknobs. They try to open doors and the doorknobs get stuck to his hands. Dude. And then they're fucking running around with this shit glued to him. And then the bad guys light the fuse. It's a very Wile E. Coyote situation to blow up the good guys.
Mm-hmm.
They blew up the safe door.
They cannonball into the water, and that's what ends up stopping the fuse.
Yeah, but just enough. It relights like a trick candle. But, and not only does it slow down the fuse, it also releases the glue.
Yeah.
So now nobody's got anything glued to them.
Dude, it felt like a writer's room where they're like, hey, no wrong answers, guys. What can we have?
Yeah, put it in.
Yeah, no wrong answers, no right answers. Just say something.
Just anything.
We need to end this movie.
Right.
We need to end the movie.
So someone's like, all right, everybody, wait, stop. What if, because there's a pool nearby, right? What if they jump in, and because they're fat, it's like a huge water, and then that takes out the fuse. Everyone's just like, yeah, perfect. That's what we'll do.
Right? If that
There's no
scene at the
pushback.
beginning, when they do the crane lift, if when they fell in, there was a big splash then we have Chekhov's big splash.
Yeah.
But they don't put the big splash at the beginning. It's just them falling in. Chekhov's big splash would have been great, but they fucked it up. They forgot it in the first act, but still pulled the trigger in the third. Then they rescue the people. These guys are out there. They're definitely going to fucking scam them, steal all the money. They take all the money. Again, why not just do that? This guy doesn't need to be dead for you to do that. Then they look up the street. We see all the good guys in the movie, and they're just laughing. And then that's it. It's over.
Well, we also thought we totally forgot about the Florida's lie detector.
Oh.
The guy from Over the Top.
Yeah.
The main villain.
What's a Florida lie detector? It's a 300-pound guy with a bat.
A bunch of bats and
Like sharp
stuff.
items, yeah.
And an axe.
That he puts them in the back seat to go pick up.
Well, that's how they escape. That's the only from Brooklyn car chase thing. That's the car they're in.
Well, I can tell you the one thing I agree with is that I did forget that. I have no idea. I have no idea what you're talking about. And I did just watch it.
It's the arm wrestling guy from the main
I know.
villain.
When
It's
the
weird
cops-
that I know more about the over the top thing you're talking about than I do about this the last movie I
that
saw.
you just watched. Yeah. That was the one part where Imani was like, that seems racially motivated, because they have these very violent items. They're like, we're about to take you in and interview you, boy. You know?
Like, ooh.
Yeah, well, that's. I mean, for that movie in Palm Beach. I mean, for Palm Beach now, it would be. Seems pretty on par.
Yeah, it seems like they may have different lie detectors in Florida based on race. That might still exist.
One's a polygraph, one's a 300-pound dude with an axe.
Which one you want?
Yeah.
The payoff at the end was, I mean, I was happy because the movie was over.
Yeah.
Oh, do you remember the like where they are now thing that Uncle Albert's narrating?
Yeah.
What he says, he got together with somebody, and then they have 4 kids and
the
one
girl
on
from
the
the
way.
roller rink.
So he has 5 kids now, maybe 6 months later.
Wait,
And
No,
he's
so this
80?
movie
you're
is.
telling me after the end there was a follow-up?
Yes.
As soon as the end, if I pull up my laptop right now, it's the end, because as soon as the end came,
and it's
I
like
closed it.
It's immediate. It's immediate.
Yeah.
And
They
Uncle-
tell you that the 2 bad guys get 7 years and then 20 more. Like that doesn't. I don't understand that. Why they both serve 7 years and then more. They tell who goes to jail. Uncle Albert, the lady from the roller rink, the boner swoner, gave him a boner swoner. He got together with her, and they have 4 kids and a 5th on the way. So the end of this movie, he's narrating this movie from 7 years later.
Yeah. And he's already like 80.
Yeah, he was already almost dead.
I mean, the actual actor had 4 more years after they made it, so
Wild.
wishful thinking, but
Yeah.
but that's crazy that they even had. And in case you were wondering how this all, how does their life end? What happened to the orderlies?
They live with him?
Nice.
Oh yeah,
No, they each had a little
They each
thing.
get another. One guy became a
right.
lifeguard. One guy became something else. One guy whatever. And then they do. They still meet up and go. They try to go on safaris, but they always fuck
Something
up. Like,
always happens.
they can't ever pull it off, but they do hang out.
Oh.
They stay
They
friends.
bring guns into a deli and like accidentally shoot some
This
stuff.
is actually...
It's weird.
It's safari gear. The
In
hats
full
and the-
safari gear.
I will actually.
I remember one of the recaps. It's actually really dark. The guy who died of a heart attack becomes an open heart surgeon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, You can't perform that on yourself. Apparently. Does Marky end up with Carla?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
I know. That's good. What a relief.
That's good.
Finally, some closure. All right, so that's Disorderlies. We'll be right back with the questions.
The Raz.
And the Raz. We'll be right back with the Raz and the question. Should we just do that part again?
No.
All right, we'll leave it in.
All right, we're back. We're here with the Raz. We're talking Disorderlies, the Fat Boys, 1980s, nurses. Let's go. What'd you think of Disorderlies, man?
Hey, man, it was good. Thanks for having me. I've never heard of this movie, but I've heard of the Fat Boys. Love a good beatboxing, overweight black dude from the 80s. 90s, I love that they tried to get into these slapstick comedies. It was fun. Look, it was not a good movie, but it was a fun. It was like it was for me because I get up early. I watch it early on a Saturday morning while I did some other things. So it was just a fun, it was a fun comedy to have in the background that was very dated. Very dated.
Yeah, very dated. Yeah, I mean, I think it's it made me, what it really made me want, and I think we talked about it at some other part of the show, and we've got an email, so I apologize. You can email me about this too, but it did make me wish the Beastie Boys had starred in a movie also.
I mean, it's an interesting thing. It's kind of like if the Lonely Island made like a nurse movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which
they,
right.
they
Island,
did like
that's what it should be. There should be a Lonely Island movie where the three of them are doing stuff and not adversarial
it's kind of,
or whatever.
Kind of like Hot Rod, it's kind of like a similar version of Hot Rod. Like imagine if the Beastie Boys made Hot Rod or made,
oh my God, I do all the time.
One of those, like it's, or they worked at a fast food restaurant and it was called What You Want. You know what I mean? Like,
man. So what's your favorite, or like, what was your earliest hip hop memory? Like, did you know about the Fat Boys at the time?
No, I didn't know about the Fat Boys until I was probably in high school, and my buddy would always make fun of him by doing the beatboxing. Yeah. My buddy Paul would always do like the Fat Boy, like make, probably then. I didn't know about him when I was a kid. I really didn't get into hip hop or rap until probably middle of high school. When I knew the Beastie Boys existed for Fight for Your Right to Party, but then, and No Sleep Till Brooklyn, and then they kind of disappeared for a bit, and then they came back when I was in high school and more aware with the robot one.
Oh, Intergalactic.
Yeah.
Hello Nasty. So that's your Beastie Boys high school one. Mine was Ill Communication. I'm just that much older than you.
Yeah. I mean, look, I love a good rap. Like I've been making some AI rap songs in that vein because I love that kind of old 80s rap, hip hop, Run DMC, Beastie Boys, where it's just like a simple thing. So I've been, as I've mentioned on this podcast before, I've been trying to make some more comedy rap stuff like in that vein because it's just like it's simple and it's fun and it's nostalgic like this movie was. It's just like a fun, silly.
Oh, that's movie. Fantastic. Well, I can't wait to hear some of that. I do like the party rap. I think somebody because like Fat Boys tapes were relatively, like, the only objection my parents could come up with was the existence without and then my mom listened to some of it and was like, this is fine. It's all like they're not cursing, they're not singing about fucking or whatever. It's 1987. They're singing about farts and eating. Right. And so it was I was allowed, like that was one that got cleared. That was a sanctioned tape. So I was into it. I didn't have to hide it or pretend it was Christian rap or anything like that. So I like that movie then. I like it now. So that's the Raz on Disorderlies. How you want to sign off?
I'll keep it going. Be kind to yourselves. Be kind to each other. Open the door for some stranger or wave at somebody or smile. Just keep the love and light going, as they say, as the kids say on the internet. Give people their flowers.
Well, hell yeah. Give them flowers, everybody. Tell them the Raz sent them flowers. All right. Thanks, Raz. We'll be right back with the Disorderlies questions.
All right, we're back. That was the Raz. No surprises on Disorderlies from the Raz.
Why would there be?
right? I think we're all pretty much in agreement on this movie. You should be 10 when you watch this movie now, and also old enough to see boobs from a distance.
Yeah, was it PG-13 because of that, or was it probably still R?
I mean, it was 1987. It could have still been PG.
Yeah, it could have been PG.
So
There was-
titties?
Yeah,
hang
there
on,
was weird,
hang on just
there
a
was-
sec.
There was PG titties in the 80s.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this movie's PG.
And
Yeah,
then
because PG-13. I mean, this would have fit the time, but it was Gremlins and one other movie were the inspiration.
Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom. To have PG-13 movies.
And
Yeah.
Red Dawn was the first PG-13.
so before that, it was PG and
And
R.
R.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I mean, there's a bunch of those, like 16 Candles or whatever. Like the 80s were wild. So yeah, this is a PG. This is a kids movie with just some boobs and some boner jokes.
I tell people that I was the last baby conceived in the 80s because I was born September 25th, 1990. And so just like math-wise, I'm like, it could have worked out like that last week.
Yeah.
But yeah.
New Year's Eve.
I like to think I have like 80s in me, but I never experienced them at all.
Mm-hmm. There's a non-zero chance you were the last 80s baby.
I
born.
know. It's just
Yeah,
more
Yeah,
memorable.
non-zero. Like there's a chance.
Oh,
Yeah.
non-zero. Oh, you were
Non-zero,
agreeing
yeah.
with me.
Yeah,
Thank you. It's probably pretty close to zero, though.
Well, yeah, but it's also impossible to prove.
Right.
So who cares?
Yeah.
This
Let's just say
movie,
you were non-zero.
as bad as this movie was, I think it's turned me on to the Fat Boys. I think I'm going to at least check out an album or two.
Yeah, it's fun. It's not the best, but it is what it is. It's 80s party rap.
It probably did the same thing when it came out. Probably there were certain people who didn't watch it or listen to them that started.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
That's
for
cool.
sure. That was they had an album come out this year, the same year, and that was their only platinum album. So it definitely had an effect on their sales. So, all right, let's do the questions. Bjorn, you're gonna.
All right. So I mean, I'm gonna skip actor touchstones. We already kind of talked about those.
Yep.
So favorite part, like as a kid, if you saw this as a kid, what would have been your favorite part? Like even hypothetically,
Oh, the titties.
the titties.
Probably. Yeah, as a kid, yeah.
I saw it on television, so I did not know.
You didn't know about the titties.
I didn't know there was until this time.
I'm trying
That
to
part
think.
was edited
Remember,
out on TV.
I remember Airplane. There's a scene where there's tits for a brief moment in chaos. There's like a woman
yeah,
on the airplane.
on the
who has
airplane
boobs.
that runs in front.
And that's the first time I probably ever saw like titties. And so,
Mm.
yeah.
Die Hard.
Oh, that was yours.
That was mine.
Yeah.
I guess mine probably would have been airplane, other than like my mom's.
Sorry, that probably
Oh.
sounds
Yeah,
off.
but I don't.
Took a second.
I was like, you guys didn't breastfeed? Just me? That's weird.
I smoked a joint between these, and now I'm trying to just come with the same energy I had in the first half. And I'm like, oh, now I'm super paranoid. I'm like, maybe the jacket off will help.
Mine was the roller rink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I was 10, I thought that was cool as shit. It seemed so fun. I also couldn't skate, so I was just always kind of jealous of because the anytime you go, it seems like so much fun.
I feel like
Can you
Ohio
skate
would have
now?
had those.
Oh, we did have them.
Oh,
I just didn't. I didn't know how to roller skate. I still don't know how to roller skate. I don't have the. It takes a level of commitment that I don't have.
Oh, so you're just okay never knowing how to roller skate?
I've tried a bunch.
There's
And
a
I
roller
don't-
rink here.
I don't have the commitment to it. It's way too. It's way past the
Yeah.
damage I could do now.
Yeah.
I know how bad I was at it then when I was a kid and
Yeah.
everything was still rubbery and soft and not fucking brittle and ready to shatter at any moment or
It doesn't
snap.
seem worth it.
Yeah, I
Can
know.
you roller skate, Brent?
Yeah, I've been to the Oaks
The Oaks Park
Park.
one?
Yeah, it's fun. I used to go like as a camper. Like I could rock climb for the same reasons because we did it at camp.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's still open. I've been going a lot lately.
Oh.
Like it's so fun.
Uh,
There's like some gay night, and my friends invited me to that, and then I just started going. It is so intimidating though,
Yeah.
because people are just dancing, and I'm just like happy to make it around
Yeah.
without falling.
It's funny the way you said that. It was like you're not gay.
Yeah.
You said it. You're like, there's some
There's
gay
just some
night.
gay night.
Like,
Dude, Paul and I are the worst gays. Like, we're not. It's like nobody believes it, even though we're married.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
guys are cute.
Thank
Yeah.
you. But yeah, we go quite often.
That's
and
fun.
That probably would have been my favorite part. Like, I roller skated a ton as a kid in the 80s in Ohio with my mom.
Damn.
Like, and I still can kind of do it.
That's cool. Yeah. Roller skating's fun. We had roller blades because we
Yeah.
grew up on a cul-de-sac, so we would rollerblade.
Blading I can do.
San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Rollerblading, San Diego, Southern California.
Yeah. That Brink movie came out.
Oh, hell yeah. I hope we
That's
can
'cause
do
we're
that on
Soul,
one
Soul
someday.
Skaters. Oh, Brink was the best.
Do you not know about Brink?
I don't know about Brent.
It was a Disney Channel original movie.
That's crazy.
It's like 90 minutes. I really want to do that one and Johnny Tsunami, which were like on repeat for me. Did you watch that one?
Yeah, and I think I would hope that those hold up.
And Alley Cat Blues as well.
All those. I mean, that could be a podcast in itself. Just
Just-
someone revisiting Disney Channel original movies. Because
So
there was
they're
a time where they were putting those out once a month.
But they're all on Disney Plus.
Oh.
And so as soon as I got Disney Plus, I was like, well, I'm watching all these. And to me, they held up.
That's great.
Best poll quote from the Brink one is he's like not doing well in the contest, and his sister comes up to him and is just like, "Hey, skate better." And he's like, "Skate better," and then he wins the contest.
That was when she goes, "Hey, what's in the bag?" And he goes, "None ya." She goes, "None ya?" He goes, "None your business."
Nacho.
Yeah.
Nacho. Wait, it isn't Crystal. Hang on. What's yours? What's your favorite part, Randall?
Yeah. What's your favorite part?
Yeah.
Probably also the roller rink.
So that would be like favorite part as a kid.
Oh
but
well,
now
no.
as a
Favorite
lower-
part as a kid probably would have been all of the fucking like little secret compartments in the house. Just anytime
Oh yeah,
those were
the
a thing.
Clue,
Oh, yeah.
secret passages.
Yeah, yeah,
That
Yeah,
was
those
it.
were neat.
yeah.
All right, what's next?
Well, I would say favorite part now would be. Are we not doing the two?
That's fine. Do whatever.
Well, my favorite part now is all the outfits. I fucking love the outfits. Holy shit! All those Adidas.
And there's the gay.
Yeah.
I wanted those shirts, the Adidas, those cool hats they were wearing.
A basketball jersey that just says fast break.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, basketball. It should just say basketball.
Yeah,
Full court press.
I want to start a sports brand that's just called Sports, and it just says sports, and there's just the wrong sport on the wrong jersey. I think that'd be so fun. Football on a basketball jersey.
I thought this scene where the families were wishing them goodbye in the airplane was so weird, but that was fun to watch.
Could
'cause
you do that?
In my head, I was like, oh, maybe that was a thing. And maybe airports were so lax in the 80s that you could just be like, hey, I'm just going to say
No, I mean, you
goodbye.
guys were right. It should have been at the gate. Like, you could do it at the gate.
Yeah.
That was easy.
Yeah.
But on the plane is nuts.
It's like next level.
They're like, get off the plane. We have to take off.
I don't know if that was my favorite part, but
Yeah, let's do some more of these questions.
All
we got
right,
about 10
double
minutes.
feature. Double feature. What movie are you gonna pair with this? Like in a back to back. I wrote Trading Places.
Trading Places is not bad.
I told Jeff, I think I've watched less than 500 movies in my life. I'm not good at watching movies. If I had to pair this with something, it would be like The Goonies, which sucks because that's a way better movie. But they feel like they're like right around the same time, and I appreciate all pre-cell phone kids movies because I'm like, oh, it would have been fun to.
There is a scene where people jump into water in that movie, so there's a connection.
Yeah.
What about you, Jeff?
I don't know. I would just say Crush Groove probably because it's another hip hop movie, same director.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But yeah, what do you got? Double feature.
I'm going to answer mine along with the recast
Okay.
because I have.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I guess that would be my next question. What's the recast? Does anybody have a recast?
Yes.
How does this work? You pick a character you would rather have be done by someone else.
Basically,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah,
Yes.
You get, and you don't have to have an answer. We
I'll
don't
go
always
last.
have an answer.
Yeah. So mine, I chose another trio.
I don't know why I chose to get high before the question. This
Before
is
the
so.
part.
This is so much more stressful than what I did the first part. But I'll go last.
So my recast, the Fat Boys, are going to be recast by Anthony Anderson, Mongo Brownlee, and Jared Mixon, who are the three kids from Me, Myself, and Irene, which is also my double feature.
Okay.
Lowrey gets recast with David Thewlis. Mr. Dennison, or Uncle Albert, is Christopher Plummer. The butler, take your choice between John Oliver and Rowan Atkinson.
All right.
And then I'm going to swap directors. The only director I could think of were the Farrelly brothers.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
would
they
work
could
for
do
this.
it for sure.
Do you have
I don't really have a recast because this movie doesn't exist, but like this makes me wish the Beastie Boys had started a movie.
That was my recast, was the Beastie Boys.
Like,
Damn it.
I don't want to put them in this movie, but the
I
idea
know, right?
that the idea that you could just take a trio like that and put them in a movie starring those three would have been fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And it's a real shame there never was one.
Yeah.
I want to see a movie by a basketball team. Like the starting five of the Warriors made a movie that they starred in where like they have to do something.
Get into crazy hijinks.
That'd be fun, like that Foo Fighters movie that came out a couple years ago, Studio 666.
Oh, right. I forgot that was a thing.
Right, that was pretty good. They just played themselves trying to make an album in a haunted house.
Yeah.
All right. Better title? Is there a better title that you thought of? For
I
this
didn't
movie?
come up with any.
No.
You have
Fat
one?
Nurse.
Really? There you go.
No, Disorderlies is good. It almost feels like sometimes they come up with a title and then they're like, well, we have to make that movie.
Yeah.
It feels
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
It does feel perfect enough to have they backtrace from the title.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I came up with two. I got Fat Florida and We Should Be Rappers.
We should be, yeah. Boy, their job is nurse, and then they take a break and make a dope ass music video. They should be rappers. They should also be just as mad that they lost that tape as they lost the evidence. Like,
Yeah.
the tape with the evidence is also the tape of their music video. Like, that was their big break, and the evidence
It
to keep them out of
exonerates them,
prison.
yeah.
Their whole lives are fucked because of this.
Yeah, maybe the police officer's like, hey, my sister's a record producer.
That would have been a fucking so much better ending than what we got.
Sure.
Do you have a better ending?
Better, no. Well,
Unending-
that,
unending
fucking
would be
that.
nice.
That's the better ending.
Yeah.
A what?
Any ending.
Any ending.
Yeah.
The fact that the movie didn't really end, it just stopped. And then they recapped from a decade later. But the way it just ends, like, they just throw at the end. It doesn't feel like it ends.
I want to
Like-
have that with a stand-up set where, like, I finish and then something comes up at the end and it's like, Brent would go on to...
Oh, yeah, put the words
Still a roll.
Brent went on to smoke a joint that night.
Yeah, Brent, you missed the whole scene. There's like a scene at the end with the credits rolling where they're all wearing different portions of Disorderlies, and it's all mixed up, and they're just like trying to get it right.
Yeah.
And I watched the whole thing
I will now.
to the end.
I'll go back and watch the rest.
It's silly, but
I was on a time crunch.
it's all right.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a description that is technically right but not great?
I have two.
Ooh, okay.
All right.
The first one is falling on hard times. Sting tries to kill his uncle. And then a rich man's pool actually gets used.
Ooh.
Oh, all right, all right.
I have 3 friends start a new life in Palm Beach.
I have a description. It's more of a disclaimer. Where is the camera? Is it that one? Is that the one?
Yeah, that's your camera.
No one even sent me these questions. So not only did I get high, this is all just being thrown at me. How would you do in this situation?
I didn't even get high and I don't have an answer.
These were hard. I was
We don't have
struggling
to
with them.
answer. It's just fun. It's fun banter.
Cool.
Yeah, who cares? It's who gets the Oscar?
Yeah, who gets the Oscar?
Fucking none of them.
Soundtrack.
There, sure.
Art of Noise.
Uncle Albert did a pretty good job. He was the
Fair enough.
most compelling character.
He did, right? He did have an arc. He
did.
changed from just because it was one scene to the next, but he did have a character transformation.
Mm-hmm.
He was against them and then not. right? He grew as a person.
Right.
He was like barely against them.
No, I
though.
know it was one scene to the next. It was
But he
it
played
was
everyone.
within 4 minutes on screen. His entire attitude shifted, but at least something shifted. He was the only one where anything shifted.
It felt like he was the actor taking it most seriously.
Yeah, and the lady pretending that she might fuck that guy. That's probably some good chops.
I like the soundtrack. It was by The Art of Noise. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
I was so excited when I saw that pop up, and then I was like, "What did they do?"
Yeah, there's not much. I guess
Cashed a check.
the score. Technically, the score is what they did, but there's a lot of songs in it,
A lot of songs.
so that's not it.
Nope.
But
Just
What-
noodling on the
yeah,
piano
whatever.
a little bit.
The soundtrack's pretty dope, I guess. Like the songs were cool.
Yeah.
Some of the songs
Yeah.
I can remember are cool.
Did they make all those songs specifically for that movie?
No idea.
No. Some of
I
them.
doubt it.
Some of them had to be just their like classics or their.
Right,
hits.
I think the Baby You're a Rich Man was made for the movie. I think that's the one that was made
Right.
for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna ask a question. Which of the three was the best actor?
Marky. I mean,
Yeah.
DJ Mark or Prince Marky D was the one who carried it. Like
Yeah.
he was the lead.
Yeah.
When you
And
watch the
you're-
movie, the other two had real sidekick energy.
It's weird because they made the lead. The protagonist was technically the bad guy, Lowry, right?
Yeah.
It's weird because you didn't. It's rare to have like an unlikable protagonist who you root for their downfall, but
Mm-hmm.
he was the one who had like a clear intention and obstacle.
Yeah, he was the only one that was trying to do anything.
Right.
These guys were just like, I guess we have a job. Let's not
Ye-
get fired.
Yeah.
That's also all they care about when they think he's dead. We're gonna get fired. It's like, man is
A
dead.
man is dead.
Because you lost the pills. Like you should be more than we're gonna get fired. But I bought it all.
I bought it.
But what about that scene where Lowry gets his little buddy to shoot him in the ass? But
Okay.
then it's the other guy. I felt like, I don't know. I thought that scene was hilarious.
I thought he was like the fact that he still did it was like he just wanted to shoot him in the ass.
Yeah.
He wasn't like give me the gun and
It's
then
like,
kill him.
Okay.
It was set up as if they were gonna kill him, and
For that to be the final conflict, it was strange. It didn't pay off at all.
Oh, that was the strange part.
That
yeah,
was
no, none of it, all of it. It tracks
It
with the
was
rest of the
all
movie,
strange.
but
Yeah.
it's why this movie is strange.
Yeah.
None of it makes too much sense. This whole thing is an elaborate plan that he didn't have to go anywhere or do anything to. What do you think the orderlies he had have too much backing in the community for anyone to believe?
They
that-
could have just blown up that vault.
Dude,
Just
he
steal-
could
they-
have gone into that vault. He could have asked his uncle, "Hey, I'm in trouble. Can you help me?" Taken 2 fucking gold bricks and saw that none of the movie would have existed.
Of course.
That's it.
Yeah, so
yeah, can I
he's-
have 2 of those?
Yeah, let me get 2 of those. You have an entire vault full of them. Let me get 2.
so now
You're gonna die soon.
So now I take it back. Lowry gets the Oscar because without his dumb shit antics, there is no movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he gets the Oscar for the existence of this movie.
Well, that's why I chose it, guys.
Yeah. Can't wait to see what you pick next.
It's all 4 bad boys.
Yeah. You got anything to plug?
Tacoma. When is this going to come out?
March 21st.
I'll be in New York March 19th through April 18th. So if you are a comic and want to hang out, hit me up.
Yeah, if you have a show, and you know me, I give a full stamp to Brent. So put him on your shit.
March 28th.
I'll be there
He'll
for a
kill
month. In the yeah, cool. Thanks for having me. This was awesome.
Yeah, man.
Right, I don't have anything to plug. You guys got anything to plug?
Yeah.
Just my Instagram, Bjorn RG Comedy.
Yeah, all right. Oh man, I don't have the thing to say what the next movie is.
Do you
Oh,
want
yeah.
to pull it out?
Oh,
We don't
Should
have
one
it.
of us
Oh, I
say
should
it?
say my Instagram. It's at ha 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 Brent
Ha ha ha. 3 ha's
and a Brent. Yep.
Ha ha ha, Brent. What movie should we do next?
Airborne.
I hate this part. Airborne. No, I can't do Airborne next.
Can't do Airborne.
What about
Air-
vampires?
Air Bud.
No, you said that was too scary. Like I don't want to.
You said earlier.
I need to get into it. Like
What about-
I don't want to agree to a scary thing yet.
What's that movie where those people's car breaks down or whatever, and it's the courtroom, but it's like an old house?
Oh,
and
Nothing But Trouble.
Nothing But Trouble.
All right, we'll do a hip hop back to back. We'll do Nothing But Trouble next week. That movie stars Digital Underground and some other people. So we're gonna do Nothing But Trouble.
Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, hopefully it streams somewhere. We'll find it.
Yeah, it does. It's on.
So yeah, Nothing But Trouble. I haven't seen this movie in a long time, and I already no, I didn't like it. I didn't like it when I saw it. So we'll see. Maybe I like it more now, or maybe I like it the same. But Nothing But Trouble next.
Are we adjourned?
Saturday after. What's that?
Are we adjourned?
Yeah, we're adjourned. Meeting adjourned.